Al didn't want me. He walked out the draft room and said, when this kid fails, it's on you guys. It's not on me. No, they were under a lot of pressure. If I didn't play well, they were all going to get fired. First time I touched the ball in the NFL, I returned the kick 97 yards for a touchdown. You know what I mean? So,
yes.
but
retribution.
Yes.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Today, I'm sitting down in studio with Tim Brown. Tim, what's up? Welcome.
What's
to the show,
going on,
man.
brother? Good to see you.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much for taking the time.
My pleasure.
So, man, this has been a crazy day talking to so many people. And now I'm sitting down with another Hall of Famer, another world-class performer of world-class performers.
Right.
People that it's already really difficult to make it to the NFL, but then to have an actual like storied career is another thing. So I want to rewind the clock a little bit and figure out how you got to that point, what led to that. So let's, 10, 11-year-old Tim Brown, like take me back to that time. Tell us what life was like for you at that point.
Man, it was all good. I mean, got mom and dad at the house, we got a little house on the hill, and
where would you go?
I'm in Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah. Grew up in Dallas, and at 10, 11, we're in southeast Dallas, which is probably 3 or 4 miles south of downtown.
Okay.
And maybe a couple of miles away from the Fair Park.
Okay.
But life was good, man. I was the youngest kid in the house at that time.
How many others?
I had 4 above me. 4?
Wow.
Yeah. And my mom and dad decided that when I was 16 to have another baby. So I have a younger sister who was, they were in their mid-40s, and they had a so man,
surprise.
Look, that was a
mid-40s surprise.
Yeah. And my mom, I thought my brother was going to get killed that day because my mom had a couple miscarriages that had almost taken her out.
Oh, wow.
So my brother was so mad, and he was like, and all in my dad's face, what are you trying to do, kill her? Yeah. And I was like, he about to get shot. But
he didn't.
But he didn't, thank God. Yeah.
No brothers
I
were
don't
harmed.
have that story to tell, thank God. But no, man, look, I mean, athletically, at 10, 11, at that age, I tell people probably the biggest, only sports regret I have in my life, when I was 11, the elementary school principal came up to me and said, Tim, I've been watching you, for a couple of years. Your hand-eye coordination is unbelievable for a kid your age. I want to teach you how to play golf.
No way.
I'm a hood kid. Yeah. I was like,
golf.
Come on, man. I mean, you could have asked me to go scuba diving. I would have been like, and I was so offended by that. I was really offended that this man wanted me to go out in the hot summers in Dallas and chase a little ball around. I could not. I was like, who does that?
That's not a sport.
And they're not athletes. And here I am at 56, every chance I get.
Trying to learn how to play golf.
I'm chasing that little ball around.
Man, I say it all the time. Man, golf would have been a better way to spend my youth. It ended up working out well for you because you chose a sport and did extremely well with it.
No doubt.
I just got a bunch of injuries, and now I still suck at golf. So was football always the sport?
No. Man, I thought I was a basketball player.
Okay.
I love basketball more than I did football. I was only 5'10" in high school. I grew a couple of inches when I got to college.
Okay.
But I was so disappointed, man, my senior year, where I only got like 2 letters in basketball, like Lamar University, a little small school in Kansas City and in Kansas. I was so disappointed. I got a stack of football letters over here, and I got 2 letters in basketball.
The one you wanted to
and
do.
I'm like, oh, I can't believe it. Don't they see I'm a good man? But,
You're like 5'10", man.
I was only 5'10", but no, football, basketball, and track, man. That's what I did from junior high all through high school.
So you obviously chose the football scholarship.
Yeah, look,
better university or more opportunity that you thought would come to you later on.
From
like, did you choose it because it was a better school? Or because it was...
No. Look, I mean, you're talking about Lamar University or Notre Dame. I mean, so I mean, it was a no brainer what we were going to do.
But you didn't have. Did you have at that point an intention to play any sport professionally?
Oh no.
Okay.
No,
so it was literally just like, this is my vehicle to go to college, get a good job. And
look, when I left out the house at 18 years old, I was 17 actually when I left. My birthday is over the summer.
Same.
My mom and dad said to me, "Hey, look, boy, there's no future in football for you. You go up there and get that education and get on back home."
Yeah. And
that was my mindset, man. I mean, I love football. I mean, but I wasn't dreaming of playing in NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, I was doing what the team asked me to do. If they played me, great. If they didn't, there was a reason in my mind why they didn't. So I didn't complain, and I didn't get off to the best start. My freshman year, the first play, opening kickoff of the year, they had told me they weren't going to put me back there, right? They was going to ease me into the game. Jerry Faust gets all excited. "Timmy, if we win the opening kickoff, I want you to return the kick." And I was like, that's not a good idea. I mean, I'm saying to myself, that didn't just happen, did it? Yeah. And I literally went in shock. I mean, and I'm not just saying that. I left the locker room without my helmet.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that bad. They let me get like halfway down the tunnel. The upperclassmen like, "Hey, freshman, did you forget something?" I'm like, "No, what?"
I don't think so.
Right, it looked good to me. He was like, "Your helmet." I was like, "Oh." So at that point, maybe they should have warned the coach that there was a problem. So I don't think I've ever prayed for us not to win the opening toss. And I'm not Catholic, but I was on my knees. "Hail Lord, Hail Mary, full of grace. Please don't let us."
I've never done anything to disappoint you. Yeah.
But we win the opening toss, man, and then you try to do that man up thing, right? Pounding your chest like you got this. And I knew they were going to squib kick the ball because we used to play on, back then the turf was like this. It was a little carpet and it was concrete is what you played on. And and I just I got in front of the ball. I did that okay, and started to run. And I still think I'm in shock at this point. I literally run into the back of my guy, fumble the ball, take a couple more steps because I don't realize I had fumbled the ball.
Oh, no.
And, I'm on the 20 and the ball is back on the 11, 12-yard line, and that's how I started my career.
So obviously a Hall of Fame career from day one.
Hey, I told everybody, "Hey, look, I told you I was coming here for an education, so I guess y'all believe me now." But
what did you major in?
Major in sociology with a minor in business.
Okay.
And Notre Dame had what they call the arts and letters, business administration major, and that's what I got my degree in. But
when did it change?
When Lou Holtz got there. So Jerry was gone after my sophomore year. Lou came in, and after we did winter ball, which is 5 a.m. practices. He made everybody have 8 o'clock classes. You know what I mean? So that took a lot to get used to.
Yeah,
but
were you doing that just to try to keep everybody's nose clean, or
discipline?
Okay, gotcha.
And so when we got outdoors, after about 2 weeks, he was pulling me into his office and showing me, and I come in at one time and he was like, "Okay, tell me what the problem was." And I was like, "Coach, what are you talking about?" "Kid, you just tell me what the problem is, right? You just tell me what the problem." I was like, "Coach, don't you lie to me. You just tell me why they weren't playing you." I was like, "Coach, they just didn't play. You're lying to me again. Why are you lying to me? There's no coaching staff in America dumb enough not to play you. Why weren't they playing you?" I was like, "They just didn't play me." And he couldn't believe that. Yeah. And so he told me, he said, "Look, man, the only way you're not going to get the ball is if they find a way to intercept the snap from center. If they do that, I can't get you the ball. But if the ball gets to my quarterback, you're going to get the ball in your hands."
What do you think that he saw versus?
Well, what he told me was like, "You're doing things on the field that we're not asking you to do. I mean, instinctively, you're making plays and you're blocking people, or you're doing this or you're doing that. And God knows when you get your ball in your hands, it's like Mr. Excitement, And he was like, you could be the best player in the country. And I told him, I said, I didn't come here to be the best player in the country.
Yeah.
I'd say, hey, look, I'm going to get an education,
Yeah,
go
I'm here
back
for
home.
sociology, actually.
Right. Marry my high school sweetheart, be a deacon in the church.
Yeah.
And he was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He was like, you could be the best player in the country. I said, Coach.
You didn't see it?
No, nope, didn't see it.
No
so
intention.
every day he would bring me in and he would show me, Tim, this is, next level. Tim, this is, this and that. And finally I just said to myself, look, Tim, just go with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, clearly this guy knows what he's talking about.
Well, it wasn't even that. It was like my attitude was like, he don't really know what he's talking about, but just go with it. And, so you can say you did.
Yeah.
And when things don't go the way he's saying, then,
sociology.
Yeah. Well, we'll just move on.
Right.
And my junior year, man, was just incredible. I mean, he put me in a position to make plays, and we made the plays, and, and returning punts and kicks and all that kind of stuff, led the nation in all-purpose yardage and all that. And it's like, everybody's like, where did this kid come from,
It's crazy how one person can believe in you enough to change the way that you believe in yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's sort of happened, and I know you got a little timeline you probably, but I'm going to jump ahead a little bit. Yeah. It sort of happened with John Gruden too, because when he came into the Raiders, I was going into year 11, I think.
Okay.
I mean, at that point, he could have very easily said, "Hey, you've done well, but we're going to move on, get a younger guy." And he was, John was I was 32, he was 34. You know what I mean? Wow. So
like peers.
I mean, right. I mean, he could have very easily said, "Hey, I want to go get a younger guy. We're going to grow together." But same thing. He brought me in. I'll tell this story, then I'll stop because I don't know what kind of timeline you got. But he brought me in the office and he said to me, I've watched almost all of your catches up until this point, and why did you not get passes in the red zone inside the 20? And I just laughed because it was a running joke that for the quarterbacks never to throw me the ball inside the 20. That was like an Al Davis rule. I mean, so he was like, "What are you talking about?" I said, "Well, you watch my film. You see. I mean, anytime we get inside the 20, either they take me out the game, or if I am in a game, they got me on the backside or whatever." And he was like, "What are you talking about?" But Al had a thing was that, he wanted you to play good, but he didn't want you to play great. Because if you play great, now everybody's going to know about you. You're going to want more money, the trade, all this stuff, going, free agent, all that, all that came into play. So, so with offensive players, because he could control those guys, more defense, you can't stop Howie Long from getting a sack. I mean, you can't do that. But offensively, you
just don't run the plays through him.
Yeah, don't run the plays through him. And that's what they did. And so when Gruden got there, after 10 years, I only had 40, 45 catches, touchdown passes. And the 4 years with him, I had just as many or more.
Wow.
In 4 years. So that put me in a position to get to 100. And, at that time, that was sort of the barrier for being a Hall of Fame receiver if you got to 100 touchdowns, So. Wow.
That's crazy, man. Yeah. One person. Right?
One person, right. Man, putting their neck. I told him, I said, "You're going to get fired." That's what I told him. I said, "You're going to get fired." Yeah. He was like, "Well, if they fire me because we're scoring touchdowns, then I should get fired."
Yeah. I want to get fired. My fate at that point.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Okay, so you are majoring in sociology. You're playing football. Was it after junior year when you had that really good year where you were like, "Oh, I actually might be able to turn this into a career"?
Yeah. Funny enough, that actually happened here in L.A. Okay. We had came out here to play USC.
Okay.
And we were down late in the game, I think with 12 minutes to go. I think we were down 19 points or something like that with 12 minutes to go. And I had a couple huge plays, a big catch, big punt return. And we came back and won the game on the last second field goal. And the great late Jim Murray for the LA Times came up to me at that time. If he put your name on a list, everybody put your name on the list. So he came up to me and said that I was going to be his front runner for the Heisman.
Wow.
You know, and I remember Notre Dame, we would always end the year in either Florida or California, and we would go out on Monday because it was Thanksgiving weekend, so our families would come out. So my brother was out there, and I remember going outside the locker room. I said to him, bro, this guy just said I'm going to be his front runner for the Heisman. And I said, even if I don't win the Heisman, you think somebody may want me to come play pro? And we looked at each other. We were like, nah, that ain't going to happen. Nah. What are you talking about? I mean, we were so laser focused, man, on education and all that, that we just never saw it coming until it was right in front of us, because 2 weeks after that.
I was going to say, so what happened then?
Yeah. So 2 weeks after that, the draft of 87 is coming up, but they're already talking about the top guys for the 88 draft are going into the 87 football season. And my name was 1, 2, 3, or 4 or 5 on everybody's list. So even, if you don't win the Heisman, somebody's going to be, you know what I mean? And so, we had to go get an insurance policy. We did all that stuff, man, because now all of a sudden you're in a totally different position. So
did it feel life-changing before it happened in that sense? Like when you started seeing your name on these lists, did you already feel like, wow, my life is going to be completely different than I thought it was going to be?
I still didn't see big picture. I didn't. And really that's because of the family I came from, man.
Well, you only know what you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And, my mom and dad are good people, or, I lost my dad a few years ago, but, mom is salt of the earth, church woman, never wanted me to play. You know what I mean? Yeah. After college, every year she would ask me, "Oh, you can quit now."
Really? Even in the NFL?
Every year. No matter, and you prove to them that you can do it. You don't have to.
What, because of injuries, or she wanted you home?
She wanted me. She's a very, very religious woman.
Got it.
And thought the football is a devil's workball. A sports period. You know what I mean? But so
just like the water boy. Football is the devil. Yeah.
So man. No, it's it's just one of those things. That's where so you're not thinking that because the people around you are not thinking that,
Right.
I mean, when the people around you are talking about normal things and treating you normally, then that's what you do. That's who you are.
Right.
And no, it literally took people on the outside to tell us, what, don't you understand what's happening here?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And because we definitely didn't see it.
Not only can you make it, but you can actually be great.
Yeah. You could be like really good at this game. I mean, and but I think by the time I got to my senior year, I understood. I fully understood what was happening.
Yeah.
And but even that, the one thing I told my team, because going back a little bit in high school, I won 4 games in my 3 years on varsity.
You said you won?
I won 4 games. We were 4-25-1.
Wow.
So the first year at Notre Dame, I was 5-6. I think we may have gone 6-5 the first year. The second year, lose first year. I think we were either 5-6 or 6. I think we were 5-6 because we went to USC that year. We were 4-6 out, no bowl game, no hope of doing anything. So, all I wanted, I knew we were a good football team. All I wanted was to win. I just want to win. You know what I mean? Have a winning season would be great. So I just told my guys, please, you can help me out by, let's not be talking about this Heisman. Let's go and get this thing done. Let's go win. Let's go do this. And, and it worked until we were 8-1.
Oh, wow.
And we went to Penn State and we lose. Tony Rice tried to be the hero. Should have pitched me the ball. I was wide open on a 2-point conversion. He pitched me the ball. I walk in, but he tried to turn it up and it slipped or something. But anyway, so after that game, we know, we don't have, because if we win that game, we go down and play Miami with a chance. If we beat them, we go play the next championship.
Yeah.
So after that week, everybody, oh well, let's win the Heisman for Timmy, and I probably had my worst game going down out of Miami that year because now we're thinking about it, talking about it, but no, man, look, it was a pretty interesting time. No doubt
no
about
kidding.
It, so, yeah,
talk to me about draft day. What was that feeling like for you? You wanted to go number 1 overall, right? Mm-hmm. Once Atlanta pretty much said they were going to go defense no matter what, then we knew that wasn't going to happen. Mm-hmm. So the teams after that, and I don't know the exact order, but I know it was Kansas City, Detroit, Tampa Bay, and Kansas City, Detroit, Tampa Bay. It was 4 teams. I can't think of the other one. Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, Detroit. Yeah. So anyway, Kansas City, it's Cincinnati, Tampa Bay, and Detroit. Yeah.
So those are the 4 teams, and all those teams were looking for a savior. They were looking for somebody to come in and it's like, in the name of Jesus, he just healed us, right? and now you have to realize that. Let me go back and say this. Beginning of my senior year. We lose Steve Berline for draft. He went to the NFL. Terry Andresiak takes over. Terry is drop back quarterback. Laser passer. We lose him in the opening game. My senior year. So Lou said, he brings me in and said, Tim, we're going to have to go to wishbone. We got to go to wishbone offense. Said Tony can't run a drop back offense, and we got to go to the wishbone. So I'm in a 3-point stance most of the year.
Yeah.
Or if they put me out, I'm still in the 3-point stance. And so that was my whole deal. Was I can't go from being in a 3-point stance wishbone offense to going up against some of the best cornerbacks in the history of the game. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? So I need to get to a team where I got time. I can work with it.
You develop.
Yeah. And so we looked at the Raiders and like, dang. Marcus, Bo, James Lofton, Mervin Fernandez, all these guys, we need to get there. Yeah. Todd Christensen at the time, Yeah,
that was a good squad.
Yeah. And and I don't know what my agent did, man, but, if he didn't do anything for me in the 20 years we were together, he did that.
One thing. Yeah.
He got me to the Raiders. He said, I don't know if Al's going to take you, but I'll get you, I'll try and get you there. And he did. And and come to find out, Al didn't want me.
Oh, really?
No. He walked out of the draft room.
No way.
That's the story I was told.
Wow.
He walked out the draft room and said, when this kid fails, it's on you guys. It's not on me.
Jesus.
So when I first get to the Raiders, Ron Wolf, who went into the Hall of Fame with me, literally, I mean, I've ran like 2 routes. And he pulls me off the field, and he's like sweating, like, "Hey man, look, we really need you to play well." I'm like, I'm at a little walkthrough, it's like I dropped 18 balls, and it was like, I was like, well, can we get to training camp? Can we
stretching? Yeah.
It was really, crazy. They were under a lot of pressure that if I didn't play well, they were all going to get fired.
Yeah.
So he didn't tell me that, but I mean, obviously, when the man's sweating bullets,
right.
you understand what's happening. So, so it was a little different, man. But it worked out perfectly for me because James Lofton and these guys, man, and we brought in Willie Gault. They brought in Willie Gault the same year they brought me in.
Just had a chat with him.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. And so it really put me in a position to return punts and kicks. And I literally thought I was born to return punts and kicks. So I had no fear, no trepidation at all about that. Matter of fact, the first time I touched the ball in college, I fumbled. First time I touched the ball in the field, I returned a kick 97 yards for a touchdown. You know what I mean? So,
yes.
but
retribution.
Yes. So, no, man, so I had time. And then, in a very strange way, man, my second year, I tear my knee up and I have reconstructive surgery. But looking back on it, I think it was probably one of the best things that happened to me because now I had a chance to, watching the game, when you're in college or whatever, watching the game on TV is one thing. But when you're in the locker room or you're in the meeting rooms and you see and you hear what is going on when the coach is telling what James and what James is responding back, man, that just mentally it took my game like off the out the roof, man. Yeah. And when I came back in '90, I mean, I didn't light it up because they didn't let me light it up, but they wanted to make sure. But I felt like I was a much better receiver mentally.
Yeah, just from the football IQ that you picked up being around those guys.
Yep.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Your environment shapes you, right?
Without a doubt. I mean, and having James Lofton, who was, of course, Hall of Fame receiver, but man, he was such a great friend and great coach, and on the field that it just made life so easy.
So the purpose of the show is to talk to world-class performers just like you and try to grab something practical that somebody listening can take and implement into their life in whatever it is that they're pursuing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you were to talk to somebody maybe at the beginning of their journey or even talking to yourself at the beginning of your journey, what would be a couple of lessons that you think have helped you excel in an area that is extremely difficult and competitive?
Well, look, I tell people all the time that there is no substitution for hard work. I mean, there just isn't. I mean, and even in today's world where you can push a button and do this and do that, the guy who's working harder at that is going to be better at that.
Yeah.
And, my practice shoes, I used to put hard on this foot and work on this foot. So every time I looked down, I saw hard work, because what I learned, really going back to high school, that some of the more talented kids were way more talented than me.
Yeah.
They didn't want to put the work in. They weren't disciplined. They just,
got distracted.
Yeah. And man, if you are willing to work hard at something, I mean, the thing about it, the thing that's so interesting about life to me is that, you may start off on one road, you know what I mean? Thinking, oh yeah, I'm working hard, I'm doing this and doing it, but boom, because you're working hard and you're putting yourself in something over here is going to pop. And it's going to be 10 times bigger than this, you know what I mean? And it's going to put you in a position where, wow, but the only reason you got this is because you were working hard on that.
Totally. Yeah. It breeds opportunity.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
But
the harder I work, the luckier I get, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And I just, the one thing I try and tell my kids, man, just whatever you do, just do it.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're coaching. I don't care if, my son wants to coach. My daughter wants to be a lawyer, and another daughter thinking about, psychology. I don't care.
Yeah.
Just work at it. Because if you work at it, even if something don't pop on the side, man, you're going to be the best.
Right.
The best you can be. And that's all you can ask for.
And the best you can be at anything. Like if you're one of the best at almost literally anything, you can make a fantastic living and live a great life.
No doubt.
Especially now.
No doubt.
With how many ways there are to monetize your expertise and everything, it's just that you got to take the time to get really good at the thing, whatever it is.
You got to do it, man. I mean, you hear stories, man, but when you dig into the story, you know why the story is what it is. Right. You know why it didn't work. Because you wasn't putting the work in.
You got sidetracked.
So yeah, man, look, the discipline, if you're a hard worker and you're a disciplined person, man, look, I tell people, I mean, literally, I think in the 17 years in the league, I think I can count on one hand the workouts I missed. It just didn't happen.
17 years.
It's 17 years. So you're talking from crazy. March the 1st until June the 15th, working out 4 days a week, nothing, because nothing takes precedence over what you really want to accomplish.
Right.
If this is what you're trying to accomplish, then why are you over here when you should be working on this? You know what I mean? So, but that kind of discipline, man, now I'm walking around with this shirt on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People, why you do that? Because I earned it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be walking around with your Hall of Fame shirt on. Why?
Yeah.
I'm about to put my ring on too.
Yeah. Am I making you uncomfortable?
Right.
Yeah.
Because man, look, I mean, life is short and, but, when you work hard at something and you know what you gave up to get to it.
Right.
Hey, y'all say whatever y'all want to say about me, but I got about 20 more shirts like this in my. I may wear one every day for a month if I could. But no, man, you
put in the sacrifice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Hard work, discipline, man, and those are things everybody can do that.
That's the thing, man. It's a level playing field for the most part.
I'm a kid from freaking Southeast Dallas.
Right. Right.
On a high school that won 4 games in 3 years.
Yeah.
But the opportunity was there, man. You just take advantage of what you have in front of you, and things will work out great,
Tim, this has been awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to come on the show. Is there anything that you're working on? Anything like if somebody's watching this, they want to go get more of Tim, how can they do that?
Man, I'm working on, there are only 10 guys who won the Heisman and in the NFL Hall of Fame. Heisman to the Hall.
That is a very interesting stat.
Yeah. Yeah, only 10 guys. Charles Woodson going in last year made the 10th guy. Wow. And we don't see anybody else in the near future coming up. So, but we shot a documentary, 7 of us. 2 guys have passed away. 1 guy is disqualified. Goes by the initials of O and J.
Wait, who? Who's that?
No, we shot a documentary. Fox bought the documentary.
Okay.
Our whole thing is we left an incredible legacy on the field. Let's go see what we can do off the field. So we have a Heisman H2H foundation trying to raise money. So. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Good stuff, dude.
Beautiful
Good
thing.
stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for taking the time, Tim. This has been
Appreciate
awesome.
you, Travis.
And we'll be happy to support you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Appreciate you, bro.